Hello and welcome to the Duluth News Tribune's Bulldog Insider podcast. I'm your host, Matt Wellens, the Bulldogs hockey beat reporter at the News Tribune.
And I'm Zach Schneider, the television voice of UMD Hockey on My Nine Sports.
Our guests this week on the podcast are a pair of regulars. They're making their fourth appearance in 5 seasons. Welcome back to the podcast, co-captains of the Bulldogs women's hockey team, Nina Jobst-Smith. Nina, welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
And Clara Van Wieren. Clara, welcome back.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, thanks to both of you for repeatedly doing this podcast over the last 5 years. I don't know what brings you back and why you're willing to keep saying yes to Zach and I, but we appreciate it. So you were previously on the podcast, second semester of your freshman year. We brought you back your sophomore year, right before the NCAA tournament. Those were both Zoom recordings. That was season 3 and season 4 for people keeping score. We let you have your junior year off. Didn't make you come on that year. But then we brought you back to start last season. So what I want to do, and I warned Nina we were doing this, I think a while back. I was thinking, I hope she doesn't remember this and go back and listen to these episodes or something. You haven't gone back and listened? Okay. What I want to do is see if either of you can recall who said what from previous episodes of this podcast. So I went back and listened to all 3 a couple days ago. I actually hate going back and listening to our own podcast because I don't like hearing my own voice. Apologies to people who've had to listen to my voice for 7 seasons of this now. We're going to start with the most recent and then go back to freshman year because the freshman year episode was the most out there. But that was the pandemic.
Okay.
Things were weird in general back then. So we're going to start with a quote from last year. For those who want to go back, episode 3, season 6, it was October 2023. Who proposed a shiny jersey with a maroon bulldog? And the quote, I'm having a vision of, I don't know if silk is the right fabric. I'm redacting the name here. Blank is already looking at me. And she just looked at her now. She knows who said this. She knows whatever I'm about to say is going to be bad. Silk socks, gold silk, matching gold silk jersey with just the bulldog on the front, a vintage look.
Definitely Clara. And I'm wondering if she still stands by this proposed
it sounds
jersey.
like quite the great idea, so I'm going to say me. I'm still standing by it. That sounds amazing.
Really elaborate. I was trying to get the visuals from all angles again, and I
was thinking in 2023, apparently, I was on.
Yeah, we were having you design jerseys, and Clara, you were out there. You still stand by. I remember after you said it, there was just a pause by everyone. Are you still standing by that design?
Yeah, I'll stand by it. That sounds
still
great.
standing by the shiny silk jersey. Okay.
You wore the gold jerseys for senior day on Saturday. Was that your choice?
It was. Nina wasn't as excited about the gold as I was, but I just think they look so much better, in pictures. They really pop with the white ice. I feel like it gets washed out if it's white on white sometimes.
What is your favorite jersey now after 5 years?
I like the golds and pictures, but I like the maroon cursives, just because we have a lot of great memories in those. I think they're sick too.
Yeah, I would second that. Clara's right with the white. They don't really pop too well, and I think between the 2 maroons, I'm always going the cursives just because of the memories.
Yeah, I like the maroon cursives. I don't know if it is where I've seen you guys play in some of those. Mm-hmm. We got the memorable image of Gabby Hughes popping that jersey at Ritter when they beat the Gophers. But Zach, the TV guy, you whined a lot on those episodes of Can I Read the Jersey? Mm-hmm. I think that's probably just a theme in general of jerseys for you across this podcast. But those 3 episodes, you really whined about Can I Read the Letters? So what's your favorite jersey?
The letters aren't as big a deal for me.
Numbers.
The numbers are a big deal, but the visitors are a bigger deal, right? You guys, by this point, I know the Bulldogs, I could probably do it without numbers for a lot of you, but the visitors, when they come and their numbers or their letter plates, their name plates, the color scheme doesn't really work, it is a big challenge because you don't see them as much as we see the UMD players. So
definitely. I'm
more of a whiner about away uniforms, but I think
fair.
that the maroons that UMD wears are very broadcast friendly. So I think you're probably they probably enjoy when you guys travel and put on the maroons.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next couple are from your sophomore year. I just pulled one from the senior year. This episode was episode 22, season 4. It was March 10th, 2022. We recorded this one right before you beat Harvard and then upset Minnesota at Ritter Arena to reach the Frozen Four at Penn State. This first quote came from a conversation after Zach asked a question, how playing Harvard at Ritter compared to playing an unfamiliar opponent at an unfamiliar rink the year before. And somehow, it was a good question by Zach, somehow we went off the rails on here. The quote is, even when we went to Harvard on the plane, I would rather bust the 23 hours personally.
That was me. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I think because we went on the tangent of you being from the Midwest and how Midwesterners drive everywhere and they're totally okay with it. But I honestly feel like I would have seconded that because I remember the masks we had to wear and that was pretty miserable. So if we could get away with no masks on the bus, I probably would have taken that option too.
Yeah. Yep. I could see why I would say that, but in hindsight, that's kind of crazy to say. Maybe it was a stretch.
Are you still standing by that? You'd rather bus to Boston than fly there?
I don't think so.
Not anymore?
No, I don't think so. But it sounds like I had a lot of hatred in my heart for it at the time. So there was probably a good reason.
Because you were younger then. You could, last long. Bus wasn't as bad being cramped. Older now. What's your limit now of a bus ride?
I mean, like Wisconsin, probably like a 5-hour bus trip. It's always hard when you do that and you play the next day. I feel like if you had an extra day in between, it wouldn't be that bad. But especially even coming back on like a Saturday night, it feels pretty long. So I'd probably say like 5 hours.
It's the drive home that's worse than the drive there. All right. Next one. I've watched everything on Netflix, I feel like. Who said that? Whose sophomore year was addicted to Netflix?
I don't know. Like, it could have been either of us.
Yeah, I think it could have been either of us. I'm going to guess Nina, though, since we don't have a Nina quote yet.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound like something I'd say, but maybe I said it.
It was Clara.
Okay, so we're just quoting Clara today.
We're gonna
My
get
quotes are funny enough.
Nina, we're gonna get to you.
I just say crazy
I won't feel
stuff.
left out. I won't feel left out.
Okay. During your sophomore year, we asked the question if you could play a 6th year of NCAA hockey, but had to do it at a school that's playing its first season of NCAA Division I hockey. What would you choose? Do you remember what you guys chose? Clara, do you remember what school you chose? This was a brand new program.
I think you said Michigan State.
I think I said Michigan or Michigan State, probably.
Michigan.
Yeah.
You said Michigan.
Yeah.
Nina, do you remember
I
what
think
you...
I said like University of Hawaii or University of Arizona or
You
something.
did? Hawaii.
Yeah.
For
Hawaii.
sure.
Yeah. I mean, reflecting back, I think I've done a lot of traveling in my time, and now it sounds like a pretty poor idea, but it would be
I think
really
it still
cool.
sounds like a great idea.
If it's for 1 year, I guess you can do it for 1 year.
1 year live in Hawaii. I mean, it is, negative whatever outside when we're recording this in Duluth right now. So
sure. It does
Hawaii
sound nice.
sounds great to go for.
You would
for
almost
you.
have to travel on Wednesdays if you were coming from Hawaii.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And hopefully there'd be some kind of like Western conference like in California. But if I was traveling all the way out here to Minnesota, that'd be tough.
I mean, you'd have to do like what the Alaskas do, which is like you'd have back-to-back road trips
Right.
sometimes. Like
Yeah.
they've spent like a month or whatever in
Yeah.
the lower 48 and then they go back and forth.
That's
What
crazy.
what school would you pick now? Stand by the original pick or
I would like to retract my answer of Michigan.
okay, not Michigan.
I'm
okay.
honestly embarrassed that I even said that. I'm a big Michigan State fan now. Before, I guess I wasn't as in touch with that, but I've become a huge fan of Michigan State hockey in the past few years. So I'll say Michigan State.
Okay, Michigan State now. You're
Yes,
going over to
yep.
the Spartans
Yep.
instead of the Wolverines.
Yep.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm not well versed in all of the colleges in America, but I'd want to say a Big Ten school somewhere just to have like a different experience. I feel like it's entirely different from what we go through here at UMD. So probably something like that and anywhere really.
We're going to Michigan State.
I'll go with Clara. I'll go to Michigan State with
Clara's
Clara.
recruiting you to Michigan State. All right. Who had their intro video idea stolen by Maggie Flaherty their sophomore year?
Me.
Clara.
Clara, are you still bitter about this?
Great minds think alike, I guess.
Yeah, you were all excited to do Champ, right?
I was.
You were gonna have Champ.
It's true.
Is there a reason? Is this part of the? I feel like the intro videos have toned down a little bit here this year. Is this because you're bitter about Maggie Flaherty still?
I'll never forget it. No, I'm just kidding. I think it looks like more professional personally. Like I think it looks cool when you don't do all of that. But I love looking at other girls, and that's really fun too, but just for me personally.
Yeah, after my flame didn't show up on my stick last year, I'm feeling a little defeated, and I decided to go with a safer option, just so as not to humiliate myself every single game. I just toned it down a little.
Do the captains set the tone with that? Does like the rest of the team follow your lead, the leadership group of like, oh, we're gonna go extra with this year, or we're gonna kind of be a little bit more professional with it, or was that just kind of everyone on the team didn't really have a wacky one?
I think maybe the freshmen kind of look to the older girls to see what they're doing, but for the most part, like if people have an idea, they'll run with it. I think it's hard though when everybody's kind of already done all these ideas. You know, you don't want to copy them, but also, you don't want to get too out there and have a flame not show up on your stick.
Yeah,
It's happy medium. Happy medium.
Yeah, things really kind of started to escalate, I feel
I
like,
know.
every year there. It did get to a point where, we need like a pause here for
it
a
was
little
building
bit.
on itself for sure. It was like the snowball effect.
Yeah. We're going to move to freshman year. Your first appearance on this podcast, that was February 4th, 2021. That was season 3, episode 15. Who said, this is the most off-the-wall quote I think we've had from the two of you.
Oh gosh.
It wasn't with a horse, but it was with a really nice truck. She has a super nice car. Who said that?
Was it Nina talking about Ashton?
Definitely.
It was. It was Nina talking about Ashton.
You were talking about how she picked me up from the airport.
You brought, I didn't, we were asking like about your first experience. I think, again, this was like Zach asking a real question, like, oh, what's it like as freshmen during COVID? And you shared us that Ashton Bell picked you up from the airport.
She did.
That year.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little more about, I don't know why back then we did not dive more into Ashton Bell showing up at the airport to pick you up, but go ahead.
It was COVID, so nobody could really travel across the border that easily. So I ended up coming down on my own. And I think she was one of the few people that offered and were in town already. I think I was one of the first freshmen to get here. So I was kind of on my own that way. And I remember Coach told her, like, you pick her up, she's in the back seat with a mask on, like windows down, you're getting nowhere near her. And Ashton was like, yeah, Coach told me all that. You can sit in the front seat. I don't really care. And I was like, okay, this is cool.
Gosh.
Yeah. And I felt pretty cool as a freshman that Ashton was willing to forego Coach's rules and pick me up from the airport. So, yeah.
I'm wondering if Coach is listening, if Maura's listening. It was Maura who said,
She's seething at the other end.
She is.
Right
She's
now.
seething
Sorry, Coach.
in Hanover right now.
Yeah.
Good thing you guys didn't end up in protocol.
Right.
That would have been awful as a freshman.
I know.
What kind of truck was Ashton driving back then?
A Tacoma.
Tacoma?
Yeah. It was my dream truck at the time. So I was pretty excited about it.
Yeah, I wanted a Tacoma until I had kids and realized you can't fit car seats.
Oh, you can fit one. I've got one in the back right now.
That's right. You have a Tacoma.
Yep.
You can
with
fit
the plow
one.
on the front.
You can't fit two though, can you?
No. One is kind of pushing it. She still fits back there.
Oh, my wife gave me the go ahead to go get a Tacoma, and then I went and looked at one, and I went, "Oh, I'm not going to be able to fit 2 car seats in the back of here."
I'm going to be traded in for a van probably here in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Dad life.
Yeah.
I'm going to enjoy it while I have it. Though.
Freedom felt so good.
What do you both remember about your first day as a Bulldog? That kind of leads into, that's also why I picked that quote, besides just how many people have been picked up by Ashton Bell at the airport. That was your first day as a Bulldog, Nina, huh?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go first like 24 hours because I think
Yeah.
I got in like the late afternoon. I remember we went to the zoo, it was called at the time. Kleiner lived there, Ashton, Rev, Markle, and Mo. And Kleiner wasn't there yet. And somebody was like, you can stay in Kleiner's room for the night. And I was like, okay, sweet. Like, that's really nice. But I was so scared of Kleiner. So I remember I like made sure everything was like perfect before I left. I was so nervous. But the girls that were there all made Katie Davis and I think tacos for dinner. And the next morning they were like, we're doing an optional team workout if you want to join in. And I was like, yeah. And I thought I trained like really hard over summer. But the next morning we went to like this CrossFit gym because we couldn't work out on our own. And I got, long story short, my ass kicked by pretty much everyone in that gym. Yeah, sorry. Bleep that out.
Worse has been said on this podcast.
Okay, yeah. And I remember thinking like, I don't even know if I'm cut out for this. I was so scared. Everyone was so fit. And the people I was working out with were like absolute beasts who had been there the entire summer, been going through the programs. And I remember I was terrified. So that was kind of my first 24 hours. But I managed to get my feet under me a couple weeks later. So.
Did you know Kleiner before? Like, why? This has been a topic the last couple of weeks on this podcast because it was a surprise to Zach and us that everyone was scared of Anna Klein when they got here. Now it's Clara that everyone's apparently scared of. But did you know, why were you scared of Kleiner?
I think she just like walks a really good edge between being intimidating and being like a really good leader. So I think sometimes you're just like not necessarily scared of her, but just really respect her and like want to make sure you're doing everything right so that like she values you. So I think I wasn't scared of her, but I just wanted to make sure everything was going smooth and we were getting off on a good foot.
Clara, what do you remember about your first day as a Bulldog?
I think I showed up a few days after Nina got there. And yeah, I think I worked out at the gym on the first day. And my story was a bit different because Coach called me midway through the summer and she was like, you need to be working harder than you're working right now. And if you think you're ready, you're not. Like, blah, 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 like going on. I was like so scared. So I had never trained harder than I did like the summer before I came in. Like I maybe even took it a bit too far with how hard I was working because I was like, there's no way I'm going to be on par for college hockey. And so I felt prepared when I got, not that Nina wasn't prepared. She was just smaller than me, first of all. Like I was a bigger girl than Nina and she was still a freshman. But so that was good. The workout was good. And then we went on the ice and I was a few minutes late, I think, because I needed to do my check-in with Dr. Sue's before I got on the ice. That actually came before the lift. But so that was like the first time I like saw all the girls. And I just remember like being so surprised with how welcoming everyone was. Everyone was like, hi, Clara, like welcome. And then like explained the drills and stuff, which I was expecting to like, everyone's like, oh, hi, like type of thing. But everyone was so welcoming, so excited I was there. So it was good.
Who were you scared of? Was it Coach? It sounds like that you were most scared of when you got here.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I was really too scared of Coach. No, I thought she was just, I don't know. But yeah, I would think Kleiner was intimidating for sure. Gabby Hughes. I'd say Gabby probably more than Kleiner.
Okay. What do you two remember about the first time you met each other?
I don't, like, I feel like okay, you go first.
We met on FaceTime.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. You want to tell them?
I was going to say, I feel like there's a story here based on Nina's reaction.
Okay, well, Nina told me, she was like, oh, I got to go. Like, I'm about to, like, get in the bath, like, take a bath. And I had never heard of anyone taking a bath before. Like, that's just, like, not something I had done since I was maybe 3 years old. So I was confused. And my sister was in the car with me, and I was like, Inga, like, Nina's going in for a bath. Like, ha, ha, ha. But, like, maybe it wasn't, like, perceived, like, laughing together. Like, Nina thought maybe we were laughing at her.
Yes.
So, yeah, maybe we didn't get off on the right foot.
Clara bullied
fair,
Nina on
yeah.
Yeah.
It was the middle of summer. I think it was like an Epsom salt bath, though, like for recovery more. But yeah, I can see why Clara thought it was weird. I was like, similar to Clara, I was very scared of all of the fitness protocols and like hitting standards. And that was, of course, because I also asked Ani what she hit for her fitness standards. So I was like very nervous the whole summer because, of course, she like benched some of the heaviest on the team, had one of the best assault bike scores. So I was, pretty wound up by that. So I was doing everything I could to make sure I was recovered and ready for the season to start.
All right. Back to the quotes here. Most of the time I spent under the boat just feeling like I was going to throw up. I realized sailing probably isn't for me.
Yeah, that was me.
Nina, have you been sailing since your freshman year with Clara? Are you?
Yes. We've actually, I think, gone like twice more, maybe.
Yeah, we went once with Wyatt Kaiser and Owen Gallatin. That was a memory to remember. It didn't go too well.
For
Have
them?
you gone since then?
Yeah, we went junior year. Remember when we went under the bridge?
Yes.
Yeah.
How did Owen and Wyatt do? Did they struggle?
Wyatt was, so we got into a bit of a crisis, honestly. It was a really windy day, and I got too close to a barge, and there's no wind, like kind of in the pocket of the barge. Mm-hmm. So we lost control, and then the boat actually broke. The rudder came off the boat. It like was so stressful, but Wyatt completely rose to the occasion, and he did great under pressure. He started directing me, even though he doesn't know how to sail. I was like, Wyatt, where are you getting this information? Owen, I think he
crumbled a little.
He crumbled. Yeah.
And I mean, I crumbled more. Clara told me to get out of the way, and I was at the back. Of course, she needed to switch sides for the rudder, and I jumped off the boat. I was frankly quite nervous, and I jumped into the harbor there. So, and then what was it? I think that was before it broke. And then when it officially broke, I was like, all right, I'm off this thing. And I just jumped again because I was already soaking wet and we were going to crash into the barge. So I tried to like jump off and pull the rope with me, like away from the barge. But yeah.
I promise I'm like a decent sailor. Like this was like a very low point for me, probably the worst. But
I was going to say, this leads us to our next quote from that episode. It's a lot more unpredictable and violent and scary.
Is that me?
That was you. Yeah, that was you talking about sailing on Lake Superior versus sailing on Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
See, subtle foreshadowing there.
Yeah.
We didn't know what was going to happen.
That 1 year later.
That was after you told the story about how you guys got into some trouble. I think it was in the canal. But Nina had no clue on that boat ride that anything was going wrong because she was hiding underneath or something.
Oh, I don't even remember that.
You don't remember that
No.
one? Yeah. The first time you were on, apparently you ran into trouble too.
Interesting.
I feel like Nina hasn't gotten some great sailing experience. Nina, do you remember the first time sailing with Clara?
Yeah. I think I just remember it being a long day, and I don't handle long days well. So I was probably underneath the boat. I do remember that. But they've gotten better. Like, they were obviously exciting. The second time was exciting. The third time was really genuinely fun. That was that time when we went under the bridge.
Good.
Yeah. So it's good that we're ending it on that note, and maybe if we go out one more time, hopefully it surpasses.
Yeah, I was going to say, who said it's over?
I know. Sorry.
Do either of the coaches know that, about your sailing adventures?
Oh, yeah. She always tries to get me to go out with recruits.
Oh, okay.
She's a coach, too.
Does she know about Nina jumping off the boat story?
I don't think so.
Okay.
What she doesn't know won't kill her, though, right?
If she's listening.
If she's listening, yeah.
Yeah, we don't know if Shu listens to this podcast yet. We know Maura and Laura are both
So-and-so
both listeners.
decommits from UMD after former captain dumps her in the harbor.
Oh my gosh.
That'd be a fun headline to write.
It would be.
All right.
Just be careful with the recruits, Clara.
Okay. We're going off the walls here, but I got a few other good quotes here from your freshman. The freshman episode was good. That one went up. That's why we kept bringing you back. Your freshman episode was good. I would probably trust Sodes because she is really organized and really looks over procedures well. I would trust Sodes with anything, not just cakes.
Definitely me.
Yeah.
I think I'm a huge Sodes fan, so that would make sense.
And talking about the organization and procedures, too.
Yeah,
Those are the details.
Those are things that I really
loves.
value. Yeah. Those are some of my core values, so makes sense.
Yeah, that was Nina. We were discussing, I think I threw out like a random question of just like cake or pie toward the end of the podcast, and we somehow got onto Emma Soderberg baking cake. I think who we trusted on the team to bake a cake was Emma Soderberg.
Yeah.
All right. Last one, kind of coming full circle here. Again, we are like asking like a third jersey. Who suggested a blue third jersey?
I could see me saying that.
Yeah, that was you.
I think mine was black. Like the set that I suggested was a black, like a blackout.
Do you remember why
be
blue?
cool. Because like Superior.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
Which I stand by that.
I think that one is a good idea.
Thank you.
Yes.
I think that would be cool.
Yeah, this was back when Nick Bryant was designing some pretty crazy. Him and Laura Bellamy, I think, were teaming up to design some pretty crazy jerseys back then. So Clara has had good ideas for
you.
jerseys.
I'm
Now,
glad we have that on record.
we can throw the shiny one out.
Yeah, does it have to be silk?
No, we don't
Okay.
have to make that one silk. We don't.
It's
I
a
like
blue
the black
jersey.
one better though. That sounds
Yeah,
sick.
Nina's had some cool black jersey designs over the years, and I'm not a fan of black jerseys.
As a third, I would really like it, I think, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you need a set of like black equipment to go with it.
Yeah.
Or like, yeah.
You couldn't do it a lot, but I think once in a while it would
Yeah.
look really cool.
Yeah.
Senior questions. These are questions that are fun to ask seniors as they're heading out here. Some seniors had to answer them twice because they got fifth years throwing them on them and such. But what is your favorite off-ice moment from your time at UMD?
I would say freshman year, we spent a ton of time at the beach, which was really fun. Like at the end of the year in May term, I remember we had so many fun days there. So that's got to be one of them. And that's what just jumped out, but I'm sure I'll think of more.
Yeah, that's a good one. I also love like whenever we go camping. Those are always good memories.
A lot of people have picked your cabin as
Oh.
their favorite off-ice memory.
That's really sweet.
You go every year, it sounds like.
As a team,
As a
we
team?
go as a full team every year.
Yeah, tell us about that.
So my grandparents have a cabin like an hour up the South Shore. It's in Herbster, Wisconsin. And they're so generous. They let us come up every year as a whole team. Well, we've done it 2 years now. But we just like pile the girls in the cabin and coaches get the upstairs, players get the basement and the mid-level. But it's fun. We like cook breakfast together, do like team bonding activities because it's like the start of the year. So I kind of pick like our team like slogans and like kind of how we want to play and stuff like that. And then just spend a lot of time together.
Kids in the basement is a big childhood memory for,
Yeah,
for me.
totally.
You and your buddies all getting tossed down to the basement. What's been your favorite on-ice moment from your 4 years as a Bulldog?
We might have the same one here, but
I think we
beating
will.
Minnesota to go to the Frozen Four, I think that was just such a fun experience. And that whole ride, like we just kept winning games, and especially when it mattered. And it was just so exciting to have that happen, especially not when you're a freshman and maybe you're kind of like unsure of how the whole thing works, but when you're a sophomore and I think you can appreciate like what that meant a little bit more. It was super cool.
Yeah, it was euphoric, I would say. I don't know why, but that
Yeah.
just felt like the best day ever, and it was such a hard-fought win.
Yeah, because your freshman year was the Erie Frozen Four, which was a weird Frozen Four because you actually got to the Frozen. You
Yeah.
played the quarterfinals in Erie, and then you had the semifinal.
Right.
Where, as we've established on this podcast, I'm still bitter about the no call.
Yeah.
You're also bitter.
I thought
You're
about
with me
that.
on
I
Nina?
literally thought about that a few days ago, how Manning got fully tripped on that play, and it led to us being scored on in overtime.
Thank you. That was that's my worst officiating call of all time.
It was
It's up
pretty
there
bad.
at least. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Didn't even know that happened.
You don't remember that?
No,
Yeah.
well, I was the one who passed the puck to the girl, so I think that was just playing on my mind over and over and over again.
Yeah, that's not why you guys lost. It was because there was a no call. You never should have actually had the chance to pass the puck there.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, because the puck should have got out of the zone if I remember right. If
Well,
I remember
Manning
the
was
play.
starting to skate up the ice.
Yeah, Manning was
She was
taking the
like
puck.
on her turn, and
Yeah.
we know Manning. She's winning that foot race. So. We were all like, "Yep, we're on the clear for a change here." And
Well, and that's what
yeah.
led to the goal.
Right.
Was you guys were all skating up or going for a change. You were all leaving the zone, and Northeastern tripped her, took her out.
Thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah,
Matt.
sorry. Yeah, I'm impressed. I'm impressed that Nina remembers the play as well as she does on that one, because I had to go back and watch it kind of to make sure I was remembering it right. What teacher or staff member at UMD had a dramatic impact on your time here?
Oh, that's really sweet. I worked with a professor last semester. His name's Gustavo Merton. He is a professor in the civil engineering department, and we did an independent study together, and he just took a lot of time to kind of teach me about the world, teach me about engineering, and yeah, it was a really cool experience learning from him. So I'm going to say him.
Clara, how about you?
Nice. I like this question. I would say maybe like Forrest Carr, the athletic director. I've done an internship with him for the past 2 years, and he's just been amazing.
Yeah, we've heard you're like associate athletic director of UMD now.
Funny. No.
She didn't deny it.
She didn't deny it.
No, I said no. I said
you're
no.
not?
No,
Okay, you're
I'm
not-
getting
you're
the
not-
coffee. That's
You're
that's
just
about
getting the
all
coffee?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
What degrees are both of you leaving with? You're in that great position of fifth years, so you get a chance to either do a master's or Nina, you needed 5 years to do engineering, I believe we established last time.
Yes, I'm graduating with my civil engineering degree after 5 years. So kind of just drug that whole thing out and kind of gave me a little bit more freedom to be a hockey player at the same time. So
yeah, that's a tough degree. You need the 5 years almost.
Yeah.
You and
Yeah.
Liv are both engineering majors, right?
Yeah.
Liv Wallin, I forget. There's 2 Livs on the team this year now. Clara, what are you all leaving college with for degrees?
Political science and philosophy majors.
Majors?
Yes.
Okay, you were able to
Yep.
double major with the
Yes.
fifth here, huh?
Yep.
What do you want to do with life after your hockey career comes to an end? We're kind of expecting both of you to maybe be in the PWHL next year. I know that's maybe unfair to assume. There's only so many spots in the PWHL. Who knows? Maybe there'll be that expansion team in Michigan, in Detroit that everyone wants to see, right, Clara?
Yeah, that would be the dream.
That would be the dream. And Nina, we've established you're apparently following Clara to Michigan.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
Gotta
I'll go there.
happen. Yeah.
Wherever they'll take me, I will go.
Yeah. Though the trend has been for former UMD captains to end up in Ottawa.
Right.
Like all the most recent captains are in Ottawa. So maybe Ottawa already has dibs on you too. But after hockey, what do you guys want to do?
You can, okay, I'll give it a go. I feel like it's something I've given a lot of debate to. I don't really know when my playing career will end, so I think I need to wait and see where I'm at in my life at that point. But I could see myself like staying in hockey, maybe on the management side, but also like in coaching now that there's so many more opportunities with this new league. I think it's really cool to just kind of give back to something that's given a lot to you. But with all that being said, I guess my dream job would to kind of be to manage properties and renovate and flip properties, kind of like they do on HGTV. So I guess, yeah, I'll just see where I'm at in my life, but those would be 2 of my options, and obviously always keeping doors open. So whatever keeps me happy.
Clara, how about you?
I've never heard you say you want to be a coach. I think you'd be a great coach. She would be scary though, because she would notice all the little details and she would get the X's and O's down. That would be great. I would say I'm thinking about going to law school after my professional hockey career. And after that, maybe, like Nina said, be somewhere in professional sports. And I'm also thinking of like philanthropy and development, like that side of the world. So those are some early thoughts.
How does the hockey world work now? I think it was Hannah Baskin, the last person we talked to about this, because when you came in as freshmen, there really wasn't a need, or the landscape has shifted so much since then. But now all these options are awaiting you in 6 weeks or whatever it is. Hopefully the season extends as long as it can here in Duluth. But you have to balance so many different things now with the PWHL and the draft and all that stuff. And Nina, I don't know if everybody heard it, so I want to repeat it, because when we asked you about Germany and the Olympics, you gave us a really good answer last week about you just want to be where your feet are, not worry about that part right now, and just try to make this season last as long as possible. But what is it like having to balance, like, not knowing really what the next stage of your professional career might come? You know, maybe you have to start your post-hockey career, but you still have this like next 3 or 4 or 5, 6 weeks, whatever it is going to be with UMD this season to focus on. So it feels like there's just a lot going on in your lives that maybe like 3 or 4 years ago you didn't have to deal with quite as much if you were a senior.
Yeah, for sure. And I think all of us players who are graduating now and have graduated in the past 2 years have been navigating that. And I think it's challenging because you don't necessarily have people who have gone through the same things. So as much as we can, we try to lean on girls who have already graduated and ask for their input and on things like that. But at the same time, it is really cool to be a part of it and hopefully be able to help people in the future who go through the same things. Because obviously hockey's not just a physical game, it's also mental. And like you said, we have a lot going on, and I think that goes with everybody. But now with this added pressure, you're thinking kind of about 2 things at once, which is really hard. But yeah, as much as we can, I think just staying where our feet are. I gave Brick that credit on that quote because you told me it from Brick. But yeah, like you just got to put everything you have into what you have in front of you, and that'll hopefully translate in other ways, just for yourself and yeah, where you want to go. So
yeah, what Nina said, I completely agree. I think there is that pressure of the off season, but I think like, at least for me, like I'm not thinking about that right now. Like I think so many of us are just thinking about pouring ourselves into playoffs and what's happening right now. And like maybe earlier in the season when we had so much of the season left, we were like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next year? Like there's so much up in the air. But at this point, like I feel like playoffs are the only thing that's on our minds. So it's been good.
Mm-hmm.
Have you both hired agents yet? Like when do you do that in your hockey careers?
Well, you're technically not allowed to have an agent right now.
Family advisor. The NCAA
Advisors.
family advisor. Though the NCAA rule on that is weird. Certain sports, I think you can have agents and such. So family advisor. Have either of you gotten family advisors yet?
I have not. I've been having conversations though with people and trying to figure out like what that would look like for me personally. It's hard when you go from kind of building all of this on your own and who you are as an athlete and your own identity. You want to make sure that's emulated by whoever represents you. So I'm definitely taking a bit more time on that to ensure like what I'm getting out of my agent is somebody I want to represent me for the long term here. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I would agree with what Nina said. I feel like that has been the hardest scene to navigate, I would say, is like the agents, and they're all new to this too. So I don't know, just figuring that out. Because like Manon, for example, last year she didn't have an agent and she's thriving right now. So it's just kind of hard to balance that. But again, like I think that's going to be a after the season ends type of conversation.
All right. Because Clara doesn't think our podcasts are long enough, we're going to sneak in these quick hits here. To close things out, we were talking about this earlier. Why is Jenna Lowry the most likely to get arrested? Is that who you both picked in your reel, or do you think that's an undeserved title for her? She thinks it's undeserved. Brenna Furman does not. If you don't know what we're talking about, you got to go back and listen to our episode with Jenna and Brenna, as well as our episode with Gabby Kraus. This has been a topic this season.
Yeah, justice for twos, justice for Jenna.
Justice for Jenna.
I don't think she would do that. I think
Okay.
she is rambunctious, as her teachers called her rambunctious when she was little, but she also is very responsible at the same time somehow. So I don't think she would let herself get arrested.
So who's most likely on the team then, Clara? Who's your pick? I don't remember from the reel who you picked on that one.
Oh, that's so hard. Maybe Reese Logan.
Reese Logan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd probably go Reese or Cam. They're pretty cheeky, or Cam is at least. So I could see someone like that getting arrested. I mean, it's hard. No one's been put in a place where they have been arrested. So I guess we can't really jump to it.
Yeah.
It could be one of us for all we know.
Yeah.
Clara, why don't people want you to date their brother?
I don't know. I actually don't know. Devin told me it was because her brother's shy and I would overwhelm him with my personality. But I honestly really don't know.
A couple of the others have said the same thing. Hannah Baskin said it. Jenna has a brother, I think.
Wait, did Hannah say me too?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think so. Yeah, because this was one of those questions from the reels, and Camden Davis, I think, came up a lot on no one wanted them to her, and then you. But I think the consensus with you was that their brothers were too shy or passive to date you.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
So I think it's more of just a
why.
bad match thing.
More of a passive brother
It's more
issue.
about them
It's
than
not
it is
about
you.
you.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Passive
I'm
brothers.
perfect. Come on.
Yeah.
No, I don't know why, honestly. You'll have to ask them.
They got to get used to successful people and get used to that. It sounds like those brothers. So
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Zach. I appreciate
you're
that.
going to be when you're a lawyer, you're going to run into that. So.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
What's been your favorite road arena in the WCHA?
LeBon. Yeah.
I would agree.
Both of you, Laban?
Yeah.
Okay, then what's been your favorite road trip? Like if you took away the arena, what's your favorite road trip city to visit in the WCHA?
Honestly, this is a hot take. I love going to Mankato. I love Tandem Bagels. We get to go and we get coffees, and I love their coconut iced coffee. So I would say that everything's walking distance too, which is nice.
That's usually my criteria for what I like for NCAA regionals or any trips like that. Nina?
Does it have to be in the WCHA? Or do I have to answer?
Well, give us your WCHA pick and your overall pick.
Okay. I would say the trip to Bemidji is always pretty comfortable. Good hotel, good food. Dude,
Clara, you do not agree
don't
with
look
that.
at me like that. I don't like Mankato's arena. I don't like that place. Sorry to anybody who's from Mankato. And I'm just thinking about the walk from the hotel to Ritter Arena is always miserably cold, and it will be this weekend. Mm-hmm. I guess I could go with Wisconsin, but outside of the WCHA, I would go with our Penn State trip, our sophomore year. That was just so comfortable. It was a great temperature. There was a city around us.
There was a Target in the hotel.
There was.
Yeah.
That was a godsend during that trip for Clint Austin and I.
Yeah.
We
were pretty shocked by the fact that Penn State had a courtyard. It was quite impressive to see in March.
Penn State was nice.
It was amazing.
The weather was nice. That was a fun Frozen Four. Clara, you don't like Bemidji, huh?
Oh my gosh. Now that we don't have to go there again and I don't have to stay positive when we go. No, not Bemidji. That's like the worst trip, I would say.
Why is Bemidji the worst trip?
It's so like desolate. Like there's no Starbucks, there's no Caribou. You can't walk to anything. If you're walking
You can walk
through
to the
prairie.
rink. You can walk to the rink, right?
Through the hotel. I called my
hotel.
dad on the phone last weekend. He was like, "Oh, is it nice outside there?" I'm like, "I haven't been outside all day." That's so depressing.
a positive of Bemidji, and
it's
this
so
time
sad.
of year you don't
need to
walk
go outside every single day. That's terrible.
Yeah, but dude, Mankato, that place, for being a college town, I have not seen one college student in that town. It's kind of strange.
It is.
It's a bit of a simulation to me when I go there. And I am not holding back either because I never have to go to Mankato again. So, yeah.
Yep.
That's how I feel.
God help the two of you if the PWHL puts expansion teams in Mankato.
In Mankato or Bemidji?
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I don't think we ought to worry about
That'd
that.
be crazy.
Yeah, I
The
was
league's
gonna
doing
say.
pretty well, Matt. I think they can do better than that.
Yeah, I would say God help the PWHL if they decide to move to Bemidji.
Oh, brother.
Favorite restaurant in Duluth?
Good question.
I love sushi, so I'm going to go with Cloud9.
Okay.
Tavern on the Hill is always just an easy one. Takes a little while
reliable.
to get food there sometimes, but other than that, like I haven't had any bad experiences with the food itself.
Was the hibachi closed by the time? Because did that close with COVID, or did that ever come back while you were here?
I've never tried getting hibachi there, but I just love the
Okay.
all-you-can-eat sushi.
Yeah, I mean, combined with hibachi though, it was super good.
really?
Yeah, and then I think COVID kind of shut that down. We've never had it come back, but that's kind of a bummer. That was one of my favorite spots. Yeah, Cloud9 hibachi.
Yeah, never been to Cloud9. I think I've gotten takeout from Cloud9. I let my wife handle all decisions on Asian food. That's her niche. That's her thing. She's very picky on it. So very picky about her pad thai and such.
Nice.
Whatever.
Do you
she
get all
picks,
the
I'm good
fancy
with.
sushis?
Like I will. I also, this sounds kind of lame, but I just love like a good avocado roll or like deep fried tofu. It's nothing special, but just hits the palate right.
Spicy tuna, spicy crab. That's really boring, but really good.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it being boring.
Yeah.
Clara, what's your pick?
I like Burrito Union, and I can't not say Tab because we go so much. I do love it. But I would also say At Sarah's Table.
Another good pick. All right, last one. Favorite place in the Duluth area to get away from everything, whether it be hockey or school?
Oh, good question. I would say, so we live, actually, maybe I shouldn't say where we live.
Yeah, give like a general.
No.
We live near Hartley. And so I love going for walks at Hartley. There's like a trail where you can climb up to the top of an overlook, and it looks over like Glen Avon ice rink. So that's nice to like have a bird's eye view looking down at the rink. It's really special.
Nina, how about you?
I'd just say the beach in general here. I think anytime you're near the water, it helps you forget a lot. So probably that.
All right, we'll wrap it up there. Clara and Nina, thank you so much for doing this podcast 4 times together over the last 5 years.
It's been fun. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
The Bulldog Insider Podcast. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. Like us, subscribe, and rate us. For more Bulldogs hockey coverage, visit DuluthNewsTribune.com/Bulldog Insider. Subscribe to gain access to all of our coverage all season long. We're recording this like a week ahead of time. So, Zach, what does the TV schedule look like when this comes out? UMD women are hosting a WCHA quarterfinal series. while the men celebrate their seniors against Miami. It's our last doubleheader weekend of hockey at Amsoil of the season.
Yeah, and we might be only doing one of the 4 games, which is kind of unfortunate. I don't yet know for sure as we're recording this about the women's playoff series. I'm hoping that we'll carry just 2 games, right? You two?
Mm-hmm.
Friday
I love
and Saturday.
that you said 4 games.
Friday and Saturday only for the women. No Sunday needed. And then CBS Sports Network has the Friday night men's game against Miami. So we're doing the Saturday game, senior day for sure. And then hopefully we'll pick up the 2 women's games by the time they get here.
Yes. Media aren't supposed to cheer or root for results unless it means they get Sunday off.
Correct.
So, yes, 2-game series is what we're hoping for. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Thanks, everyone, for listening. We'll catch you next week.